make videos on my phone and uploading. I just have had no success in the last 2 months. So we're going to give live another crack, and it is a little bit more daunting, let me tell you. If you're a floss tube maker, you know you can always edit, but when it's live, it's out there for good. So today is the 12th of September 2022, and it's been 2 months since I've come along and shared my updates with you, and been so busy, what can I say? I've got a new little addition in the paddock. We've got a new 10-month-old, well, new to me, 10-month-old little boy out there, and he's taking up a lot of my time, but I love it. It's so much fun. So my title says FFOs galore, and guess what? I have 12 to show you today. 12. What? I know, they've been piling up. So for the last couple of weeks, I've just knocked them out. Some of them you've seen before in when I've showed you my finished objects. Some are projects that you haven't even seen before, and some are projects that I've finished since I last spoke to you. So let's get started. 12 FFOs. Hopefully this won't be too long of a video, and I'm going to show you my two addictions that I can't stop stitching on at the moment as well. So we'll do the 12 FFOs and then 2 whip updates, because I can't remember what I've stitched on in the last 2 months, which would be nearly everything. Hi Gail, how you going? Okay, so my first one, which you've all probably seen, and I've also done, actually, no, I shouldn't say you've all probably seen. So I've had quite a few subscribers, so thank you and welcome. I hope there's something here you enjoy, and for those returning, I really appreciate it, and I certainly appreciate all the comments. I have been a bit slack answering you, but I do put the little heart emoji so you know that I've read it. I really need to be a better human being and reply to you when I get the messages, but they come up on your phone and you read them and you click them, you think, I'll get back to that and answer them, and then 2 months later, you've got all these comments that are literally unanswered. So for those who haven't seen my Farms of Hawk Run Hollow, I do have a previous video which goes through each and every square. So today I'm just going to be showing you fully framed. I'm not going to go through each particular block because there's a lot to it. So this is my, oh golly, framed Farms of Hawk Run Hollow. So I framed this myself. It is a little bit wonky, but I did not leave myself a lot of border space. And that was because as a new stitcher, so I started this quite relatively new, coming back into my stitching, and I didn't leave myself a lot of border. So you live and learn. So it is a little bit wonky. I really had to, so I pinned this because I didn't have a lot of space, and I've just used a unfinished frame, unfinished timber that my husband made for me, and no glass because I didn't want this to have any, I wanted it to be as country and rustic as possible. So this is this is stitched on a 14 count Ada, which I wanted to look like an old sort of feed sack. So I tea and coffee dyed it to make it look as rustic as possible. So therefore the frame had to match. So that is my Farms at Hawk Run Hollow, and it is so light without glass in it. It's just so easy and portable. Now, the second FFO I want to show you is one that you've seen as a finish, and this is Snowy Christmas. I think it's Snowy Christmas by ORETM. And this is my finish. Again, no glass, and it's just a nice lightweight frame that my hubby made up for me. And I think it just needed the simplicity of something really basic around it so it didn't take away from the Quakers. So this again was a little bit hard to frame correctly because again, this was I think my first Quaker finish, no, third Quaker finish. And I didn't quite line up all the motifs as well as I could have, but not realizing how that would affect the framing. But still, again, very happy with my little Christmas finish that I can pop out at Christmas time. So this is, as I said, Snowy Christmas from ORETM, and thanks again, Deb, for the loan of the chart. I love that one. Now I've got another Ori TM to show you, but I'm going to show you the one, so I did Oz, and for those who have been with me before, you've seen this is not a new FFO, so I've shown this before. So this is Oz, I did first, and then I did Alice. So now I have two, and I've framed them together, framed them in the matching frame, so they've got the identical frame. They're on very similar fabric, so they can actually look like a companion piece on the wall. So very happy with how Alice turned out, and I just love how that bit of negative fabric, unused stitch fabric, really shines, and you can see the blue and the pink in that one. So that is Alice by Ori TM. These are so much fun. I am debating whether I do another one. I really like the Mary Poppins one, but I've just got so much at the moment stitching. So they're my three Ori TMs that I have now finished and are up on the wall in my craft room. Now the other finish that I'm going to show you is the only other one that is framed. So I said I had 12, that's 3. Okay, this is number 4. This is Beach by the Cricket Collection. Now this one I won from a giveaway from Carolyn Zook. So Carolyn, I'm pleased to show you that it is all finished and now up on my wall. This one you haven't seen finished yet because I did finish it between my last video and now that you're seeing it. So, and this has got glass in it, so I'll try not to get the glare. Now this has got like a shadow box frame because it did come with some beachy buttons, some sand dollars and some shells and stars, and it's sort of in a frame that I can just pop onto the shelf. Sorry, you're getting all the reflection. That I can just pop onto the shelf and it can sit there, or I can mount it on the wall, but I've just got it sitting in my bookshelf at the moment for when I bring it out for my summer displays. So that is Beach by the Cricket Collection on Bestitch Me fabric that I got in a Friday night fight night. So I don't think I could tell you the colour. I think it was just one that was unnamed. So really happy with how all my framing come out. This was a pre-purchased frame. The others my husband and I made. So I did make him show me, like let me have a bit of hands-on so I can start to do my own framing, because I really like the idea of getting frames from secondhand, from the charity shops, and cutting those down rather than trying to look for the perfect size, because we know they never exist. If I know how to be able to cut frames down and put them back together, it is sweet. Now, which ones will I might show you my soft finishes first. So these ones I don't think you've seen at all. These little guys I did for little prompts. Now this is an Erica Michaels Spring Bouquet set. It comes as a needle book and as a berry, and I just did the little needle book. So that's, oh, actually that's the back. That is the front. So I haven't made a needle book before, and when I got my sewing machine out, I'm just like, I've seen other people, so we just, yeah, so all I've done is made like a little bit, the wool felt came with the pack, and so I've just sewn that up, put a bit of wadding in there just to get, probably didn't need it actually because it's a little bit poofy, but I can just pop my needles into that and pop it into my kit, or I can just have it out on, I might even keep it out on my spring display during spring because it's got that little flower. Now the other soft finish I did came out of a magazine, Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and it was a notebook cover, but I wouldn't put a stitching piece on top of a notebook only because I wouldn't use it. So I changed it from a needlewoman's notes to a needlewoman's needles. Now I think I may have shown you the finish to this one. So I changed the M and the L around for my initials and I popped in the year, but then I realized it's probably a bit big for a needle book. So I just added in, same sort of concept as the other one. I've just got a little bit of wadding and I've just turned it into like a thread bed. So I can put my loose threads on there, throw that over the arm of my chair that I'm stitching on, and keep all those loose threads. So I just did some, I'm not a quilter. So as you can see, by the time it finished, it wasn't even. I did match up the points though. I was very happy with the points. But anyway, it's just something for me, and just something that I can leave out again on my spring display with a little bit of the floral. So I was happy with how that guy turned out. And that was just like a 30-minute whip up. But I've been needing a thread bed because I've got quite a few pieces that have lots of changes, and you like using little bits and you don't want to put everything back because you know you're going to get it out in another couple of stitches. So I'm looking forward to using that one. Now, this one's really cute. You haven't seen, this was a SAF, a start and a finish, since my last video, and I did this all within 4 days. I had my mother visiting me, and she likes to stitch too, but my stitching chair's a little bit away from being sociable. So I thought, what can I stitch at the table that I'm comfortable doing, that doesn't spread out? So we went down to a stitching time in Hobart, and we both got ourselves a little Mill Hill kit. And this is mine, Santa with Cardinal. These are so much fun. If you haven't tried a Mill Hill before and you like the look of them, they are not hard to do, and they're actually very functional to be like as social stitching because there's not a lot to it. It's quite a small kit. So I don't know if you can see the beads. And then I've just got a self-adhesive felt on the back and a little bit of ribbon. So I was really happy. I like to do one of these each and every year to add to my tree. They're very lightweight, so they're good for tree decorations. My mum did the angel, angel with cardinal. So we both did one of these, and he came out so cute. I didn't put all the back stitching in his coat down the bottom because I felt like it didn't need all of the detail. So I really only back stitched around his face. But these are so much fun. Now, Tess, hope you're watching. This next one that I'm going to show you isn't quite a fully finished because I ran out of polyfill last night, which is a real bummer, but I wasn't going to wait to do my update because I knew I had time today. So you're going to have to improvise with me that what this will look like. But this is my Bloom and Grow by Caterpillar Cross Stitch that I'm turning into a drum. Now, the worst thing about lives is that you can't do that. This is before and this is after, because I really like doing those in my videos and I like seeing them in other people. So I do apologize because I can't show you what this looked like fully unless you go back. So this is Bloom and Grow and by Caterpillar Cross Stitch, which was a mystery sale a little while ago. And I had space for one more pot, but I got burnt out on this. So I did see this little saying on another stitch, be nice, be a flower, not a weed. And I thought, perfect, that can go on the end, little bit something. You're not going to see it when it's on the counter, but I know it's there. And I wanted to try this variegated thread that I had got at a retreat. And it just fitted with those colours perfectly. So we've got our base, we've got our polyfill. Now I use the Vonna Pfeiffer tutorial. Perfect. I have made probably, this is about my 6th drum now, and I didn't even need to re-watch the tutorial again because it's so simple that once you've done it a couple of times. So with these drums, you need to stuff and then stuff some more. So really I have not got enough in there, and I always like to put all my orts in. So I collect my orts, and then when I do either a pillow finish or a drum, all my orts go in there. I don't know why, I just like the idea of them being reused. So that's just something that I do. I always put whatever orts I've got saved up in my little ort jar, go into that. And then I've got my drum finish. So this has got some wadding, a couple of layers of wadding, and then I've cinched it round. And then when I've got enough polyfill in there, we just pop that on and hand stitch it all the way around, and that will be my Bloom and Grow finish. So this is on a 32, I think this is or no, it could be a 28 count. So it's quite big compared to Tess, at Tess's stitches. She's doing hers on a 1/1 and it's really petite, and she's going to do a drum as well. So one day Tess will have to put them side by side at a retreat and see the difference. But drums are lots of fun. If you want to do a drum, I really suggest giving it a go. It's not that hard. Okay, now the other 3 finishes that I'm going to show you are on boards. This is Acorn Sampler. Oh, I've forgotten who did this one. It's an oldie, but it was just one that I had little speciality stitches in that I was using just more for prompts. I had this little board that I got from the supermarket. I think it was $2. Like it's got a little fromage stamp on it. So it was just like a decorative piece, a board. It's not really functional being that size. And I just wrapped some fabric around it to give it a bit more orange for my autumn display. So that's Acorn Sampler, all finished and ready to go out for autumn, which we're just about to hit spring. So I really need to get my bloom and grow out. The next one, which didn't make it out for display, which has to wait another 3 seasons, is my Winter Squirrel by the Blue Flower. So this is on I guess it's a paddle board. I had some, we recently did our bathrooms up, and the new vanities came with this chipboard, well, not chipboard, MDF, and it's just the perfect, it's not too thick, it's not too thin, it's lightweight. So I kept these massive big bits of chipboard, and I'm going to make these paddles to fit exactly what I need when I want to do a flat finish. So all I've done is mounted the piece onto some sticky board. I've added a little bit of lace under there, painted the chipboard, the MDF, because it's unfinished. So that's another great option because it means I can do any colour I like, and it's relatively quick and easy, and they're easy to store because they're flat. So that is my Winter Squirrel. I can't bring him. Oh, look, you can see the snowflakes really well there. And that was a even weave that I hand dyed myself. And I'm really happy with how he turned out. I might have to send a photo of him along to Janine McGowan for, because she shows other people's finishes of her charts. I love her stuff. I've got to finish the quilting bee of hers. And the final finish that I'm going to show you is from a Just Keep, what's the magazine? Just Cross Stitching, the one where they have all the Christmas ornaments in it. This came, I think, from 2020, and this is called Waiting for Santa. Now, it did have snowflakes on the chart. So this is a SAF too. You haven't seen the beginnings of this. This was done for a prompt. What was I going to say? So this came from a magazine. I can't exactly remember which one, and I should have brought the magazine because to tell you who the designer was, but it wasn't someone that I was familiar with. So in my mind, I was going to put this in a little white frame. Of course, it didn't fit. So out came the MDF when I was making that one, and I made just like a red paddle. Well, not red. I painted it. I painted it red to match the variegated thread. And again, same concept. I've just put that on some sticky board, added a little bit of lace just to give it a little bit of contrast down the bottom. But isn't that cute with a little sheep? So that's what I was saying. So it had snowflakes in it. And here in Australia, we don't have winter at Christmas time. So I didn't want to put snowflakes in mine. So I just left it as is with all the sheep waiting for Santa in the paddock. So super happy with how all those FFOs came out. Gosh, that didn't take long at all, did it? So they are the 12 FFOs that I have done since I've seen you last. So my slate is clean. I do not have anything waiting to be finished now, which is a bit of a relief, because when you start to see them piling up, it was a little bit like, oh, I must get onto that. But I prefer the stitching opposed to the finishing. I don't know about you guys, but I like it when it's finished and it's on the wall. but it's that whole process of finishing things. It's like, oh, I don't want to muck it up. So I did them. I got them out, and I'm really happy with how they've turned out. I've learned a little bit more with the sewing side of it, with the soft finishes, and also with the framed finishes. So there are going to be some projects that I will not frame myself because I've put so much work into them that I want them to be framed perfectly. Okay, so my 2 whips that I'm going to show you an update on, my 2 obsessions at the moment, the ones that I want to touch the most. And I'm a prompt stitcher, so for those who are new or don't come as regularly as others, I stitch for the Daily 30, which is a group that's run by Kerry and Stitches, and there's quite a few. It used to be run by Sean McKenney, but I love doing prompts because it means I don't have to think about what am I going to stitch on today. The prompts sort of determine that for me, and generally it's only 300 stitches a go. So if it's not a project that I absolutely love or I'm not totally into it at the moment, 300 stitches, I can get that out. But then if I can fit Consider the Lilies into any of the prompts, Consider the Lilies gets my time and effort at the moment. I am loving this. Now I am doing this with a sale with Catherine from Neat and Not by the Sea. We do have a hashtag on Instagram called Across the Tasman Lilies, because Catherine lives in New Zealand and I'm in Australia, Tasmania. So we've got the Tasman Sea between us. So it was sort of like an Aussie, New Zealand. So if you want to join us, please come along. You can find me on Instagram under the same name, Patchy Pony Stitcher, as well, if you're interested in seeing other bits and pieces, because I do tend to update on Instagram a little bit more regularly. Now, I don't have a before photo for you again, but I have got the full top border done. So I'm going to have to disappear here for a moment so you can see it. But look how big that is. It's going to be one big piece, but I love it. It's so much fun. So I think last time I saw you, I had only sort of got to here. So I've done this in the last 2 months. But it's such, I don't know, I love Quakers, and I did not think I would be a sampler girl. I'd look at samplers and go, no, not for me. And to be honest, the only reason I got this chart is because I had some credit with an online store and I needed to use it up, and there was nothing else that was really appealing to me. And I'd heard lots about this Consider the Lilies, and I thought, oh, well, I'll have a look, give it a crack. And I love it. So I don't know whether once this is finished, that I may need to do another sampler. I'm not real one for alphabets and phrases and so forth. So I might be more of a new sampler, like the Teresa Kogut one I really liked from last year at market. So I'm using some of the called for where I had them. I wasn't going to go out and buy special thread. So I used some of the weeks that I already had and substituted some of the other colours for other overdyes, and then probably 50% of these are DMC. I just want to look at that all day. Love it a lot. So she will be getting some more work on. Now the next piece is very new. It's only been, well, when I say very new and only been stitched a small bit, Dawn Marie from DMS Crafty Vortex. If you haven't seen Dawn Marie, go over and check her out. I really like her channel. She's in the UK, I think. So hello, Dawn Marie. Hope you're watching. She showed this video game sampler that she's doing for her son, but then her husband claimed it. And it is perfect for my 21st-year-old, my 21-year-old. So I'm going to give you fair warning now. There's a language that you may not like in this particular chart. So I'm going to show you the language. I'm going to show you the chart, but when in my stitch piece, I have not got to that part. So if you do not like teenage language, turn away now. But this is the chart. And it is perfect for my 21, well, he's not even 21 yet, he's about to turn 21, so I'm doing this for his birthday. If I can't get it before his birthday, I will do it for Christmas. It is by Screaming Heart Design, and it is actually a fundraiser from 2021. So you go along and you donate to the charity, and then you DM them on Facebook. So if you're interested, look up Screaming Heart Design. You do have to scroll back to January 2021 to find it, and all the instructions are there. Now, if you're on my Instagram, you would have seen Saturday night, I had a post. I had to frog the whole thing because I got the fabric orientation wrong, didn't I? So this I have started, once I started it on Ada, and then realised that the Ada wasn't 14 count. It must have been a bit bigger than I thought. So the piece of fabric was going to be too small. So I had to start again. Then I started it on 25 count even weave linen. Not linen, even weave. 25 count even weave. But then I got the orientation wrong. So I had to rip it all out. So this is my third start on the video game cell. Now, so you can see, if you don't like language, you can look up because you can't see anything. It doesn't, I haven't got to the bad words. But this is my start, and I just love it. Even though it's my start 3 times over, I really enjoy how it's coming out, and the real pixelated computer game type of font now. It's got like little starbursts there that you can see. So I think this one's going to be seeing a lot of time because it's really easy. And I'm going to a retreat on the weekend, the Daisy Chain Stitches retreat. So if you're in Australia and you're going, comment below because I'd love to know who is going and who I can catch up with there and say hello. I really want to take this with me because it's easy stitching, because it's sort of pixelated. But is it inappropriate to take to a retreat? Because the first fair bit, maybe 1/3 down, there's no swear word in it. So if people come and look over my shoulder, they're not going to see any swear words unless they look at the chart. I don't know, should I take it with me to a retreat, or is it one that you do at home in private? I really like it though, and it's got all bright colours. So again, I'm going to flash it again, so if you don't like the language, but lots of bright colours. It's all DMC. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. I was going to consider the Lilies to the retreat with me, but the fabric is so big that if anything happened that I made a spill or something on the fabric, because I do have some overdyes there, I don't really want to have to wash it if I can help it at the end of the process. So I'm really trying hard to keep that as clean as possible, that I've even got all the fabric in a pillar slip while I'm stitching to avoid any sort of extra grime and dirt on it. So I don't think I'll consider the Lilies, but I like to take 3 or 4. You reckon I should take it, Gail? I just hope people don't get offended. Like, that's the last thing that I want to do is offend someone. Language like that doesn't bother me at all. I've got teenage boys, you hear it. It's unavoidable. But for people that aren't used to it, even reading it can sometimes be offensive to them. So, I don't know. So, yes, I've got this retreat so today is Monday, and I'm leaving on Friday to go to New South Wales to the Hunter Valley, which is the wine region. So I think there might be lots of stitching, laughing, some vinos. So lots of fun to be had there. I'm going with Emily, who is my roomie. We met at the Mittagong Stitches retreat. So it'll be nice to see Emily again, and Teresa. And I haven't met Nikki Noodle yet, so I'm really excited about meeting Nikki. I know Carolyn from A Stitch in Time is going up, so there's going to be a few faces there that I recognise. I haven't met Kath Purden yet, so I'm looking forward to meeting Kath, and yeah, just some new faces. It's going to be really good. So that is my news that I've got at the moment. Sorry. I just saw, so, oh, that's your needle minder on there too. Stitching, oh, Stitching with Mum of Two Monsters has also got a needle minder shop called, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have a brain fart. Oh, I'll have to tag it. But yes, I won't put that up close because again, it's got a little swear word in it, but I thought it was very appropriate to go with that project. Okay, guys, so I think that's me for this update. As I said, you might see more lives from me only because it's easier for me to do. Once I get going, I'm fine, but it's the whole pressing the button, knowing that you can't stop and edit if you make a bumble. But once upon a needle minder, that's it. Thank you. She's got some great needle minders. I've got probably half a dozen. So if you're after some snarky needle minders in Australia, check out Once Upon a Needle Minder because there's some great ones. Some really, yes, inappropriate, but also there's heaps of appropriate ones too. Okay, ladies, and sorry, I shouldn't call you all ladies, I don't know. So, okay, everyone, I will sign off and I might do a quick update from the Daisy Chain Stitches retreat if I get a moment. But hope you are all well. I know there's a lot going on in the world at the moment with the passing of the Queen. Wasn't she terrific? She gave her whole life, her whole world to her country. So I take my hat off to her. She did an outstanding job. And then with the anniversary of 9/11 yesterday in the United States. So a lot to be thoughtful of at the moment with that happening all around the world. So everyone take care and I will see you next time. Bye.